I hope that you understand that, by looking at this stuff in a detached way, that this is how all of us end up developing our identities. And I feel like it's sad for many people that they don't get the opportunity, or they don't pursue the opportunity even to shift and change. They think that they are always going to be this way, that they're always going to be ruled by something that happened in their past, or always going to be ruled by the tribal narrative of where they come from and, who they are and all this. And it actually brings up a really important question. And I want all of you to make sure that you write this one down. And it is this: most people, one of the kind of, I'll stop sharing for a second so I can come more big on screen. One of the most, I think, I won't say that way, I won't say that term, but one of the more dangerous questions that have been asked of people from, especially the kind of spiritual backgrounds, whether it's religion asks this question, people in the personal development self-help space do this, leadership world asks this, is who are you? And if you think about that, if I asked all of you that right now, like, who are you? The framing of the question alone causes people to go into their past and ask it from a past tense. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, Matt Gallant, amazing Canadian, brilliant marketing mind and business builder. He was in New York last week visiting with me, and we were talking about this and how a lot of times when you ask that question of who are you, it traps people. There is a better way of asking that question. Is the question that I ask all of you. Isn't who are you? What are you? What are you? It comes in form and substance now, okay? And even the frame around what are you is about asking, like, what are you made of? Like, what are you truly, right? Instead of who are you, which is like you end up going into this past narrative of self, and then because you start defining yourself with that, I'm asking you to define when you ask the question of what are you, it starts defining you in a different way, because you start asking yourself the question of what are you most of the time through the lens of a positive frame of, what am I? Well, the way that I see it is you're something that's limitless. You're something that can create itself. What am I? I'm a, whatever that is for you. Who are you? I never would ask that question to people. What are you is the question. What are you? And, and that's what the entire masterclass, that's what the book is about, is sort of getting people to recognize that what are you is someone that you comes from. You've got a creative imagination that has a superpower that helps you to transcend whatever you think you are, right? So what are you is your many selves. You have many roles that you play. There are many fields of play that you go and you pursue things on. So think of that. And even when you're working with, or, you're talking to other friends, avoid that question of who are you, but asking them, what are you? Like, what do you think you're made of? And if they have a tough time with it, reflect back to them what you think they are, right? And I hope you're saying it in a positive way to uplift, because there's two types of people. There's two types of construction workers in the world. There's construction workers that build buildings up, and there's construction workers that tear buildings down. My papa said that to me when I was 8 years old, after I had had a tough outing in a baseball game, and I wasn't the nicest teammate. And when we were walking away, he told me that, and he said, which construction worker were you on that field today? And he didn't need me to answer because I already knew the answer. And that's, it didn't mean that it shifted right away, but I've always kept that kind of question rolling in my head is, did I act as a construction worker that built that person up, or did I tear that person down, right? And so for some people, a what are you question is a far more powerful way of saying it. Okay. So to wrap up, so some of the things that we covered in this lesson here, we got clarity on what you are. Share this back just to wrap up. Clarity on what your ordinary world looks like and what's frustrating you about it, so that we are clear on the results and outcomes you want to create in your life. Pick the field of play that frustrates you the most, so that you can so that we can build out an alter ego to activate that heroic self on that field of play. Use the target mapping technique to define the ultimate goal for that chosen field. Identified the moment of impact that makes the biggest difference to your performance on your chosen field of play. Common hidden forces, named the enemy, identified the stories that you're telling yourself, okay? All of that stuff is meant to simply help us build out that one sheet canvas. Okay, so just to wrap up, any final key takeaways for people? Again, I am going to pop into the group and I'm going to record some other videos of some FAQ stuff that's come in, answer them for all of you, because I know that we've gone 2 hours and 20 minutes today. So I want to, you know, maybe partition off some of these questions for all of you. But let me just bring up the chat here again. Great stuff. I'm super uncomfortable. I've got a mountain of notes, so I'd say this was super good for me. I think so too, Kyle. Remember, uncomfortableness happens at the edge of a comfort zone. And the fastest way to get past a comfort zone is to develop a brand new identity that's already sitting out in the space that you want to go operate inside of. Because then what happens is you completely transverse around, you know, the idea of your current identity, and you get out there acting in a way that you most want to. So for me, I have trained myself now that when I reach those comfort zones, I get excited because I can't wait to see what's waiting for me on the other side. Why that works then is that I refuse to allow anyone, anything to define what I am about or who I am, okay? I will define that stuff. So someone else can see me do something, and let's say the thing fails, that person can call me a failure. That's them. I would never do that. I'm not going to call myself a failure. That's an identity. I failed at something is just an act that happened, but I am not a failure. That's an identity-based thing. You know, just like someone says to a little kid, stop being a jerk, right? Well, that's you just giving them an identity of they're a jerk, as opposed to, you know, stop acting like you're something, right? So anyway, absolutely, Chris. All right, gang. Well, thanks for all the good stuff here. I'll see you guys in the Facebook group. And Patricia, the name of the group is, I think it's the Alter Ego Method Masterclass. You should have gotten it in your emails, and if you didn't, just reach out to care@toddherman.me, and we can help you out. Make sure you get to the proper link. Can you repeat the statement? Which statement, Nikki? Oh, about uncomfortableness. Yeah, when I reach the end of my when I find that I'm starting to get uncomfortable, that's a sign that I'm reaching to the end of my comfort zone. And that is meaning that I'm reaching to the end of the current way that I see myself, right? Because that's an identity. You know, I see myself as having something, doing something. And when I'm reaching to the end, that means I'm getting when you're getting uncomfortable, that means I'm about to burst through and create a brand new identity for myself. So I get really excited about that. You know, some people, they internalize it as it being negative energy, right? I don't know if any of you have seen me talk about the idea of emotions and how it plays a role at a scientific level. In the interview that I did with Marie Forleo on the Marie TV show, this is now almost 5 years ago now, and Marie's a good friend of mine. But if you go and you watch that, that's another way that I'm simply expressing this idea. If you go and Google the YouTube or whatever. But me, when I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm like, great, that means there's another version of Todd that's about to be revealed on the other side of this, okay? So some people can internalize it as, oh, I need to get back to safety. No, safety exists outside the comfort zone, never inside it. That's dangerous to me. Safety is out there, because on the other side of my comfort zone are more skills, more abilities, greater insight, greater paradigms, better paradigms. That's secure to me. Security never exists in the comfort zone. I'm never going to retract into the cave, right? And again, I didn't act that way all the time, gang, and I can tell you from my personal experience of, walking through what I've walked through, and all of you have walked through stuff as well, is anytime I did that trapped self, there was no security in that at all, because it's not like the enemy ever stopped, chatting at you. So, struggle, most people view as negative. Me, strength is found in the struggle. Strength is found in the suffering of having to walk through the valley of complexity, so that you can get to the peak of simplicity. So most people want simplicity without the complexity. Well, you're just robbing yourself of a better version. So anyways, gang, to wrap up, awesome session. Thank you so much. You're all super engaged. Appreciate that. And we'll see you inside the group. If you need anything, please reach out. Okay? Ciao, gang. Bye-bye for now.